7 a.m., wake up. 7:15, run, sometimes walk. 8, shower. 8:20, make toast. 8:45, leave for work. 12 o'clock, lunch. 5 o'clock, home. Make dinner. 5:30, watch TV. 6:30, work on something. 8:30, YouTube or video games. Midnight, bed, rinse and repeat. Back in high school, I never had an issue being up at 6 a.m. to be at school for 8:30. But recently, I've been trying to build better habits, and I've been struggling, and I want to talk about why. When I turned 18, I decided to create myself a new habit. One where I stay up late, and, well, once it became a habit, it got a lot harder to break out of those rhythms. So let's talk about building better habits, and I want to share 5 things I've done in the past to build habits more effectively. Before we do that, if you enjoy my content, make sure you head down below and subscribe. I'm also trying to get to 400 subscribers, so share this video with just one friend and it'll help us to grow by so much. Also, new hairstyle in case you didn't notice. Let me know what you think. You bully me in the comments, I will not do it again. Those habits that I mentioned earlier are the way that I would like for my life to be, but like I said, I've been struggling with building habits. There's always something else to do, something more important. I don't have enough time. There's always something, so I get overwhelmed and end up doing nothing at all. Before I can talk about building better habits or even think about that, I have to figure out where my problems are in building habits right now. The way I see it, it comes down to 2 things: prioritization and time. I've got a lot going on in my life, so changing routines or finding time to add new things in can be quite challenging and overwhelming. But timing isn't the issue, priorities are the issue, because you could have 10 things to do, but if you know how to do them efficiently and what needs to be done first, second, third, and so on, time isn't a problem. Priorities are. If you know how to prioritize your time and your habits, your needs right now, but some wrench gets thrown in there, well, good luck, Charlie. I wonder how many of you actually got that reference. So as much as I say it's both those things, it's just my reluctance to prioritize my time more effectively. For example, I know that working out takes an hour of my time every day, and I'm reluctant to do it because I could fill my hour with better things. But I know that every time I spend that hour working out, the other 4 hours that I have are far more efficient than the full 5 hours without working out, because my brain and my body are refreshed. So prioritizing, it would make sense for me to spend that first hour doing that, because the other 4, I'm going to get so much more done. All right, before we get into my 5 tips about building better habits, figure out first what your habits are and what order you want to start building them in. Do you want to start waking up earlier? Do you want to start running and working out every day? What are your habits? And create a list with an order of priority. So I'm going to tell you a story, and along the way, I'm going to give you 5 tips on building better habits. This story starts back in October of 2020, 1 year ago, when I decided I wanted to run a 10K race at some point in 2021. Spoiler alert, I didn't run the 10K this year. Tip number 1 is to prioritize. As I just mentioned, prioritization is what allows you to consistently keep doing something, which will in turn allow you to build the habit. So I decided that I was going to run for an hour every day after work. Not after dinner, not after video games, immediately after work. But you have to start small, which is what leads to tip number 2, which is setting bite-sized goals. That very first run, I ran 3 kilometers. Realistically, if I'm running 3 kilometers a day for 5 days a week, I could have easily smashed 60 kilometers in the month. But I set the goal for the first month of running at 30 kilometers. Why would I do that? Realistically speaking, I'm gonna have off days. I'm getting started, I need to rest, I need to take care of myself, and you can't go from 0 to 100. So I set a goal at 30 kilometers and ended up smashing that goal because it was achievable to me. Someone who would never run 30 kilometers in a month, well, I think I can do that. And I did. Tip number 3, track your progress. Tracking that goal on a whiteboard and seeing the box filling up the more kilometers I ran was what made me want to keep going. Once I saw that it was half full, it felt stupid to not finish it. And especially once I got towards the end, I might as well just wrap it up. So that month I ran 40 kilometers in the first month. Like I said, I beat the goal. I wanted to make sure that the effort that I'd put in thus far wouldn't go to waste. Tip number 4 is to repeat. So I beat my goal for October, and now we're coming into November. You would think that I'd set some crazy goal because I've shown that I can do it, but really it's still early. I've only been running for 1 month, so I need to be realistic. This month, all I wanted to do was do the exact same thing as the month before. So I set my goal at 40 kilometers, what I had actually run the month before. I had no excuses. All I had to do was just repeat. Sure enough, I ran 50 kilometers that month, and it was starting to feel a lot more like a rhythm and a lot more like a habit. Tip number 5, the last one, is to reflect and improve. Reflecting on that goal and improving it month over month was what allowed me to keep going. But unfortunately, as it got colder, it got icier, and I must have slipped a little bit while I was running or something, because on my best run day ever, I hurt my knee, and I was out of commission for a month after the longest stretch of running I had ever done. I think if I had reprioritized that goal and tried to push myself to walk 20 or 30 kilometers that month, it would have at least kept me going, kept me moving. But I got lazy, and to be clear, I could walk just fine without feeling any pain. So I was lazy. I should have been pushing myself harder, and I should have been trying to make sure that that habit didn't disappear. Taking these tips to build better and more efficient habits, it's not going to be an instant solution. It's going to take time, but that repetition and all of the effort you're putting in will be worth it in the end, as long as you stay consistent. So keep that in mind and use that as words of wisdom while you go on your habit building adventure. What are some habits that you want to build? I'd love to hear from you. So go head down to the comments and start a conversation. Maybe you and someone else who wants to build a similar habit can kind of chat about it and be accountability partners. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week.